The joy of distortion. Sometimes things look normal. Other times the same things look different from normal. Would you like to draw normal and exaggerated views? That's what I'll teach you, but this can get wild. Grief of distortion. Spatial distortions are almost impossible to draw accurately without plan projections. With plan projections, they're easy to overdo, and we can't know how they will look until we've done all the work. But here's what we know. Wide-angle distortions happen when vanishing points come close together. Now, that introduces another confusion. When we want to spread out a two-point view, what do we do on the other side of a vanishing point? Even though this is a recorded video, I can hear your groans of recognition. But what do we do? Well, first we learn how this works. Distortions in space take more knowledge than distortions on the surface. A liquefy tool like Silly Putty can stretch out an image, but only the surface, width and height. That's not the same as distorting the depth, where objects change size as they move toward and away. It all has to do with placing the viewer. Proximal placement. We learned about vertical placement, that's height, on the y-axis. We learned about lateral placement, left and right, on the x of the picture plane. This is proximal placement on z. How close or how far is the viewer to the window? It makes all the difference. Few artists know how to use it. You, however, now know an accurate way by projecting a plan which you've done with a normal field of vision. If you enjoyed that and you want a challenge, try it again with the viewer so close that to see the whole scene you must stretch out the angle of vision. In Premium, I'll try one up close and we'll talk more about field of vision, which sets the limit for what can be seen within the picture. And that's great to know. But we don't want to plot out projections whenever we draw. We want to put this science to use to draw freely. Let's look at some lessons from projecting that help us sketch freehand. Vanishing points and distance. Remember what we learned in the last lesson. Placing the viewer determines the placement of vanishing points. How far can a viewer go back? Infinitely. That's the easiest kind of perspective. Isometric perspective keeps everything distant infinitely. Nothing gets bigger as it comes forward. Nothing gets smaller as it goes away. The reason is simple. Isometric perspective works without vanishing points. This angle is 115 degrees. It is always 115 degrees, whether here, here, or here. The same will be true with any angles, even if we spin them into other positions. The angles don't change once we choose their positions, which means we can zoom back and reveal this scene forever. Drawing without any vanishing points spreads out the field of vision from a point of view that's as distant as space. As soon as we put in a vanishing point, things start to change. Those receding lines converge. Watch. They can't appear parallel now. They aim at a point. Vanishing points change the angles on objects, and here's the big deal. They amplify depth. Look at the difference between close and far. We can use this when sketching. The farther apart the vanishing points, the farther away the viewer. The closer together, the closer the viewer. Let's take some time with that. The farther away we are from an object, the farther away go the vanishing points, and here's the effect. The more everything flattens out into sameness. The closer we get, the closer the vanishing points come together, the more everything stretches toward and away from the viewer into exaggeratedly close and far. When you're sketching in two-point perspective, start with your eye level, then choose your vanishing points. Faraway points make a faraway view. Close points bring us in closely. Try it both ways. Explore the effects. Draw freehand, keeping in mind the lessons you learned by projecting in two-point perspective until your knowledge and impulses converge. Now that's good to know. But this two-point exercise still doesn't answer the question. What about 1 point? How do we do this in 1 point? We can't spread the points apart when there's only 1 point. And yet, 1-point setups look deeper up close. 2 pencils, seen from a distance, look almost the same. The same pencil seen from up close with a wide-angle view gives you this amazing phenomenon. We're seeing a secret that helps us in freehand decisions. The closer we get to a scene, the bigger the difference between close and far. Close gets big, really big. Far gets small, really small. Let's try it with height. 2 chess pieces seen from a distance look almost the same height in this viewing angle. But bring the viewer in and open the angle, and the front one is huge, the distant one small. This is a secret we learn from projection. When we stretch out the view and move the viewer in, Z appears to stretch out. I'll show you in Premium that if we really want to, we can control depth with one vanishing point. In our Zolly app, you can experiment with 3D models for clues, but give it some thought before I reveal the secret. If you can figure it out, you're probably a genius. The lesson for sketching goes back to the simple reminder about diminution, that the closer we get, the more we exaggerate sizes in depth. Think of peepholes. The farther away, the more all the same sizes get. Think of stars. Playing by eye. Let's look at a tank as a simplified form. We're far away in this drawing, so when that threatening thing aims toward us, it doesn't get bigger. Rest in your distance. But if we draw the same tank with close vanishing points, we bring our view in so close that it makes close things dangerously large in our view. Let's look at another. This is a drawing by Jack Davis placing the viewer away from the scene. Look at how everyone's bodies, both near ones and far ones, stay the same size. Now look at how he puts us inside the action. An outfielder's body about half the size of the head of the pitcher, batter and catcher so big they don't fit in the picture. If you want to exaggerate space, that's the main rule. Close things get bigger, distant things smaller. Play by that rule and you can go to extremes. Close things gigantic, distant things tiny. Stretch out the difference between front and back. Take it too far and at least you've explored. See if you can overdo it. This is Perspective Unleashed. You get wild. Here's a project. Choose an object or a photo you like and attempt to exaggerate depth for the fun of it. Play and explore. You know now that there are ways to get things exact, but if you want to make it your own based on your creativity, here is the simplest advice to get good at freehand wide-angle distortions and close-ups. Fill your brain with examples. That's what we'll do in the next lesson. A whole bunch of truths from the lens of a camera, observing how placement of the viewer flattens and deepens space. When you can imagine the difference, you can draw from your imagination. If you're not up to it yet, draw what you imagine you will imagine. Draw what you imagine you will imagine. In Premium, we'll go over the most famous kind of wide-angle view, 5-point perspective, and we'll have several guest demos, including Peter Hahn showing that fisheye distortion. You can find it at Proko.com/perspective. See you there.